So let's now welcome our next candidate, which is Clifton Buddy Hinote, also seeking School Board District 2.
It's good to, excuse me, a little taller than this Huey. First of all, Michael, you and your group, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to share, and for you folks that are out there in virtual land, certainly .com, and certainly I'll respond to any of those kind of questions that you may have. The Great Rally Debate team, thank you. I'm not going to name you individually, but you did a great job of putting this together. I am Clifton Buddy Hinote. I'm running for re-election to School Board District 2. I am a lifelong resident of Santa Rosa County. My wife, beautiful wife in the back there, we've been married 43 years. We're both graduates of Milton High School, and we both have 2 children. We have 2 children together that are graduates of Santa Rosa County schools as well. I have a BS degree in biology and chemistry from Emory University in Atlanta, and I have a master's in science from UWF in educational leadership. I served this district for a number of years. In fact, some of you sitting in the audience, I had the pleasure of having you either in a classroom or in an athletic field as well. I have been a teacher. I taught chemistry and physics and math for 20 years in Santa Rosa County, coached at that time, and also I've been an assistant principal. I've been a principal of the only pre-K-12 school in our district. And the last 5 years of my career, I served as director of high schools, where I was responsible for the 7 high schools that are in our district. I'm a deacon and a Sunday school teacher at the Baptist Church in Pensacola. And I've been, as I said, a lifelong resident of this community. I have an understanding of the budget and an attempt to meet the needs of over 3,000 employees. I have a strong desire to serve all the citizens in Santa Rosa County, and I believe I'm an individual that's trustworthy and of strong moral character. I also recognize that I'm not infallible. Some of the decisions I have had to make since I've served on the board have been extremely difficult. Some of them have cost me long-term friendships. However, the citizens of Santa Rosa County elected me to make the right decisions regardless of the consequences. We cannot function in this educational arena properly if we allow the will of special interest groups to dictate how we operate. I do not come to a decision without considering the facts and seeking divine guidance through prayer in all of those decisions. Some of you have asked, what are my priorities? Well, obviously, it's to be, if anybody that knows me knows that I'm a physical conservative in my own finances, but also I am a physically conservative and responsible in the district's budget as well. With the pandemic's effects on our state's economy, we can expect some very lean years and months and years in the future. And we must continue to be wise and closely scrutinize every expenditure. I also believe that accountability is paramount. Some of you asked about growth. Well, I also feel like that's something that the challenges are great in dealing with growth in our county. If you look around, everywhere from the south end all the way up into Shamuckla and the J area, there are subdivisions going in. Why? Why are these folks coming to Santa Rosa County? There are several reasons, but if you'll ask them, the main reason is because of the quality school system we have here in Santa Rosa County. And it's imperative that we continue that. But we have to address the growth by building schools in high growth areas. We do not receive any funding to build schools in Santa Rosa County. No district really does in the state of Florida. We used to have something called Public Education Capital Outlay Dollars, PICO dollars. We used to receive $3.4 to $4 million per year in order to help us in capital outlay, particularly in the area of maintenance, but that no longer exists. The state has taken that money and it's going to charter schools now. So if we build schools, that money has to be raised locally, either through your capital outlay portion of your property tax. And by the way, Ms. Huey mentioned that, and I voted against that increase. And if you want to check it out, go to the our last board meeting and review the video. The reason I voted against it, not because we don't need the dollars. We definitely need the dollars in order to build these schools, but a promise was made, and I believe that I ought to be a man of my word, and we're going to keep that promise as long as we possibly can. We also, our half-cent sales tax dollars, which you have been so gracious to grant us over the last few years, generates about $9 million. But with the loss of our PICO dollars, we no longer have funding to maintain our schools. And when you're looking at a chiller costing $2 million at a school, or it's so expensive to maintain our aging schools that it uses up most of that half-cent sales tax dollars. So to build schools, we do have to borrow the money in a lot of cases through certificates of participation. And contrary to what you might have heard recently and what you might read on Facebook, you cannot use capital outlay dollars to fund teacher salary. It's not. It's restricted. You cannot do it. Impact fees, we lost the ability to participate in concurrency. We're no longer at the table, obviously, as a school district. And so we have to rely on the Board of County Commissioners to help us in that regard in terms of granting the development of new properties and new subdivisions and things of that nature. Impact fees are a way that we can provide additional funding to build these schools. And it's those folks that are having the impact that are moving into our area from all over the country. If you look, California, New York, all over are coming to our district, again, because of the great school district that we have. But they're having the impact of overcrowding our schools, and therefore they should help additionally in helping fund the construction of those new schools. Teacher salaries. The year 2020 is considered the year of the teacher, yet our veteran teachers have been somewhat neglected. That's not our choice, that was the governor's choice. I agree that we cannot pay a teacher enough for what they do day in and day out, and I understand we need to do better. Last year, our operating budget of $26 million, 74% of that went to salaries and benefits. We paid $17.5 million for teachers' benefits last year. And the last 3 years, our teachers' raises, although it's not enough, it's 2.2, 4.3, and 3.5%. Okay? That adds up to about 10% increase in salary over the course of the last 3 years. Many say that teacher morale is low, and I believe the main reason it's low because there's so many mandates that come from the direct Department of Education and from other sources of the state that require so much of a teacher's time that they're just simply worn out and they don't have time to teach anymore. It makes it very difficult for them. COVID-19 has brought in a tremendous amount of challenge. I encourage you that if you have not taken the opportunity to read the planning team's recommendation for reopening schools, it's posted on the district website. It's pretty extensive in what's going to occur and how we're going to try to take care of kids. You know, we had citizens to request an additional option, a remote option, and we went to work some of these folks sitting here, not me, but we went to work in putting that together to have that as an option. However, the vast majority of our students, I would say probably, I don't know exact current data, about 80% are going to return to brick and mortar. So therefore, it's imperative that we as stakeholders, parents, teachers, all of us together collectively, we do our best to create the safest environment that we possibly can for our students and teachers. Recently, we've lost some great educators and friends of mine due to the virus, and we have several in our educational community at this time that are currently battling this disease. Please do your part and be careful. As I close, I believe my past service of 42 years matched with my passion for the community are the determining factors making me the most qualified for this position of a board member. My experience does count. As an educator, I understand the value of a quality education. As a parent, a grandparent, a community leader, I understand the need for accountability, but it's my passion for children's success and their safety that drives me hard to get back to a school district that I absolutely love and has been so good to me. I ask you to vote for experience, for accountability, and passion. Please vote to re-elect Clifton Buddy Hinote, School Board District 2. Thank you.
We do have 3 minutes of time if somebody has a question to ask. You can approach the microphone. If not, a few people...
I can't help you with Pond Creek, buddy. I'm sorry.
If not, a few people did submit questions in writing, so
Sure.
with nobody at the microphone, I'll ask.
All right.
This was from somebody in attendance here tonight. Teachers are very important.
Absolutely.
But how do you feel about pay for educational support employees?
Well, first of all, teachers can't do what they're asked to do without educational support folks. Parapros, all of those in our schools that work hand in hand with teachers to help students, particularly in the ESE arena and all over our schools. Our parapros and our ed support folks are crucial to us being successful as a school district. So as far as paying them, yes, I would hope that we would be able to do some things to improve the quality of their pay as well.
All right, we do have time for another question, also submitted in writing here tonight. Okaloosa County has a 7-period day. Their secondary teachers teach 5 classes. Do you believe these extra instructional minutes are the reasons their district has a higher ranking? If so, if you are elected, will you work toward increasing our district's ranking? Will you consider a 7-class period schedule or longer class periods within the current 6-period schedule?
Well, first of all, I've never been a strong proponent of the 6-period day. 7-period day is what I would desire, with teachers teaching 5 and 7 and maybe having a duty period or something else in regard to that. But a year or two ago, we the superintendent put a committee together to analyze this and to look at it and look at the effect it would have on us from the budget perspective. That committee came back and reported that it was not feasible for us to make that change because of the tremendous increased cost with hiring additional teachers, moving from a 3-tier bus system to or increasing routes. All of those factors figured into us making a decision. I ran as a part of my platform 4 years ago to go back to the 7-period day. When I was principal, we had a hybrid schedule. I know Mr. Thorpe's here. He had a hybrid schedule at Milton High School. I ran in order to see those changes met. But we've not been successful in doing so because of the cost involved.
Okay, thank you. Clifton Buddy Hinote, candidate for School Board District 2.
Thank you.